Welcome back. Well, Deputy President David Mabuza has given the clearest indication yet that he will make a way for Paul Mashatile. New ANC MPs are also expected to be sworn in. These are all clear signs that a major cabinet reshuffle is looming. Leadership expert Mazwe Majola says there's no need for President Cyril Ramaphosa to delay it. He says the president must act now if he wants to inspire confidence in the people. For more on this, he joins us in the studio for more on this conversation. Mr. Majola, always a pleasure speaking to you. Very good morning. But, you know, and I was sharing with this sentiment with you off air, that having the deputy president of the country during a public, and it's a public address, it was a public platform, it was a family funeral, however, knowing very well that members of the media were going to be in attendance, so there was no kind of blindsidedness from that point. But being able to even articulate it at a public portfolio, a podium, that I have since, I've got the agreement with the president, I have since vacated the post. I'm waiting for the president to actually make pronouncements on that before the president makes pronouncements on that in itself. I mean, surely, and then you and I were sharing that, surely some kind of exposure of the president, some time of lax in decision-making on behalf of the president. I mean, he said it publicly, I've resigned. The president may not have said it, but I've resigned. That's an indication of almost weakness that is being exposed.
No, he was exposed greatly, and very unfortunate for President Ramaphosa. I hope he will learn from this. There are certain things that you must not just delay for the sake of delaying. Yes, there will be some processes, there will be some consultations, but from the former Deputy President David Mabuza, I sense some frustration from him. It looks like I'm sick and tired for people in the media keep on asking me where I'm not there, when I have already mentioned to my leader that he must release me, or I don't want to be there anymore. He was not there during the ANC January 8th state or rather celebration. People were asking, where is he? He was not there during the ANC's Rehutla, the first ANC NEC. Obviously, recently the cabinet. So people are going to be probing.
So the deputy president of the country.
Deputy president of the country. So for him, it's like saying, look, I've already resigned. I've already mentioned to my president that he must release me. By now, he should have already announced this thing. So, look, he is going to announce, but when he announces it, I want you to know, because you're my home province, I want to inform you that this is going to happen. But when it happens, I want you to know that I'm the one who wanted to be released. So, already you can see that the president must change his script now.
100%.
Yeah, in whatever you wanted to say about David Mabuza, because now he must go along with what the deputy or the former deputy president said. So it's a learning, or it's for President Ramaphosa. Really, he must. This delaying things is not good for the country. It's not good for him as a leader. So he must learn from this, that sometimes other people don't want to wait longer when they say, release me, I don't want this, you know, and then you want to take your own time. As I said, that I don't see any need or any reason why you should be delaying this thing any further.
More than anything else, it becomes how it's in the conversations around how the deputy president of the country has taken ownership of his own narrative, right? He has almost taken the power away, because if this was a power play game, he's taken the power away from the president, and perhaps even a little bit of authority away from the president, in having himself announce that this is where I stand. It's yet to be introduced to the rest of the nation by the president, but this is my narrative, this is my story. And as a leader of a country, surely even as a leader of a political party, especially in the contentious time that South Africa finds itself in, you want to be seen as a president that does not have people in public platforms write their own narratives before you are able to dictate what that narrative is. Surely that is leadership 101, where you get to be the head of the home, you tell the story, you relate to the family member, and not have other family members start talking and saying, this is what dad has decided to do, right? Because it removes now the power and the authority from you as the head, and you're giving it to somebody else, intentionally so.
What he has done really is just, as you are saying, exposed him, because the one who is the leader, the one who was supposed to lead the process, has now become the follower, of the process. The one who was supposed to be following has taken over and led the process, which is not good. Leaders are expected to lead. They must. Leading is exactly like that. You are leading the process, you are leading people, you are leading everything. But now, if you are going to hold back, other people will take over on your behalf. And it's what David Mabuza has done. Look, Faith, the danger of ANC, and I hope Ramaphosa will learn from the Ramaphosa, this is his second term. And he must do things differently. It's got nothing to lose. We have seen him how he is done, or how he did things in his first term. I mean, with his consultation or exaggerated over consultation, indecisiveness, taking time. That we hope now that in his second term he will change, and it's got nothing to lose really the way he does things, because unfortunately, we'll always be caught napping in this complex and uncertain time, because things are so quick now. You will always react. You'll always be reactive, because you are taking things on your own. You are slow. You're taking a snail's pace, and something else is going to take, and then you'll always react, which is not good for him. And I just hope that, as I'm saying, that this is a lesson for him, that lead, take charge. When there is a decision that you must do, don't procrastinate unnecessarily. Just take charge, lead, announce. I don't see any reason why he has really not been announced the cabinet. For the ANC to say that they were waiting for the swearing in of Paul Mashatile and others tomorrow. But that's exactly what I'm saying, that unfortunately the environment's not going to wait for you. You must try to be ahead of things. I don't know if there is any rule or any law, unfortunately I'm not in that space, where it says that you cannot announce a reshuffle until and unless a swearing in has taken place. Because you could do that and say, I've announced this, so and so will be doing this. However, we are just waiting for the process to conclude, and once that process concluded, then you will take over. And then, because you remove this anxiety and apprehension from the people. People, they want to know who's going to be in there. It's not only people, but even, I think, ministers inside the ANC. I'm sure they are anxious as well, because they don't know whether I'm continuing with my department or with my ministry, or I'm going to move and shift to another ministry. So you can see that this anxiety is everywhere, inside and outside the ANC.
And one would say that perhaps President Cyril Ramaphosa cannot afford to have this kind of uncertainty manifest if he wants to retain the position that he's still got control over A, the ANC, but also B, the Republic and his cabinet in that regard. Members of, right now we've got the cabinet ministers, for example, transport, low-hanging fruit. Fikile Mbalula has now been deployed to Lutuli House, which means automatically there's a clear vacancy there. And a little spot has not been filled yet, right? And she has vacated this position as well. We've got Tulis Nlisi that has got an acting capacity as well that's fulfilling. So therefore, it makes it difficult to be able to completely invest yourself, in position, in your portfolio, because you don't even know. Lindiwe Sisulu, there have been conversations about whether or not she will serve under the President Cyril Ramaphosa's second term. Right? They're having conversations. Will she stay? Will she not? NDZ, it becomes another one. No, Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma. She was the one that stood up quite bold and said, as a disciplined member of the ANC, I vote. Of course, when this matter of Phala Phala actually came into the fold. So there are questions even when it comes to her political future or her governance future in that regard. And yet we're sitting here with decisions that really, it's an announcement. it's a considered announcement, but it's an announcement. Because otherwise you're going to find yourself having to respond to the... Because now he has to do that. He has to respond to the Deputy President, David Mabuza, who's just now controlled the entire shift and shifted the narrative of the ANC.
For stability, as you're saying, Faith, for the sake of stability and certainty in the country globally, everyone is waiting with bated breath to say who's going to take over the portfolio, the Minister of Transport and all those ministries that we are talking about. Is he going to bring back those ministers we are referring to, or is he going to change that? Everyone's... Look, unfortunately, he's in an invidious position, because while he has to do the consultation with his own leadership, advisors and tripartite alliance, all those people, unfortunately, he's the one who does appointment. He's appointing, is firing, he's the one. So if he appoints someone who won't respect him or won't be loyal to him because he has been imposed by other comrades, that also will be on problem. So that is when courageous leadership takes in that, look, I want to work with these people.
Oh, let me ask you a question then, interject on that. Yeah. Paul Mashatile, as the Deputy President of the African National Congress, is he an imposed leader on the current President Cyril Ramaphosa, or is he a leader that may serve, right, and agree to serve at the behest of the President? Because then that becomes a power dynamic completely at play as to why is it that we have not secured this Deputy President who now gets deployed into a parliament, so as it were. So is Paul Mashatile imposed, or is he there to serve under?
Unfortunately, elected leaders, those are dynamics when it comes to, as I'm saying, that for him is appointed leaders from elected leaders, you know. So as a leader, he may work with people who wouldn't like to work with under normal circumstances. But because these people are elected, there is nothing he can do. So that is why I'm saying the position of Paul Mashatile, I mean, whether he delayed it over a month or a year, he would have in any case appointed him, because it's an elected position which must be appointed by him. But as a leader also, that's why the leadership comes in. You know, you've got to know how to work with people that you don't like. Because unfortunately, not all people, whether it's in a workplace situation, it's anywhere, because of a person's expertise, qualifications, experience, and all those things. But for you, maybe you would have preferred someone else. But now you must, that is what we call working with difficult people or difficult environments, how to navigate in all those dynamics. And at the end of the day, you're professionals, you're old people. You might find that at some stage, you will find each other, will find one another. And knowing Paul Mashatile, I think really he does have that capacity of submitting under him, of working with him, and I hope they'll be able to work together.